Good morning. Welcome to Ask the Admin, brought to you by Bailey. I will be the presenter today, John Jones. I am a solution architect with the Bailey Salesforce Consulting Division. And today we are actually going to be talking about chatter. Throughout the presentation, it is meant to be interactive. We'll have a couple of polls that will come up, and I'm going to put up an example poll right now. That will go up there. Go ahead and select your option and submit it, and those will come into it. We'll get a couple of these polls throughout the presentation. Also, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask those in the sidebar, and we will answer those as we go, and we'll have time at the end for questions as well. As I mentioned, this is meant to be an interactive webinar. Please ask any questions you have. They can be related to today's topic or other questions. It doesn't matter. We're here to answer any questions that anybody may have. We have topics every week in case there's not many questions, but we're happy to answer any questions on any part of the system. Our topics are designed to go through and build and continue building upon previous week's work. You can go back and watch previous webinars to see what we have been doing. And each week we'll be adding to that and building up a new org from scratch. Our fate company is Universal Boxes that we're using to do that. We recommend you follow along. Come back week to week, learn new things every week, ask more questions. And we'll move on. Universal Boxes is our fate company, as I mentioned. It's a subsidiary of Universal Containers, which will sound familiar if you've taken any of the Salesforce certification exams. Chatter. Let's jump right into this. What is Chatter? Chatter is Salesforce's internal collaboration tool. It can help to reduce lost and cluttered communications within your system. If anybody has worked with emails with multiple people, having people added to your email chains and doing projects or anything that way, you'll know the experience of how messy that can get and how quickly it can handle. Chatter can help control that within your organization and keep your information in one place. It's also a system for watching and following people, records, files, anything you have in Salesforce. We'll have a Chatter feed. You can watch it, you can follow it for any changes, you can comment on it, you can talk to people. It kind of turns your business into a social platform for you. Social platforms are very big in the world right now with things like Facebook and Twitter. And this kind of follows the same pattern for your business, but keeps it internal to your Salesforce organization. So I use Chatter. I've got a little video here, and then I'm going to throw a poll up, and we're going to talk about why to use Chatter in a collaboration tool. So let's take a look at this.
Business practices that reduce the time. Number 44, email tree. Let's keep this simple. You need to make a decision, but need the input from 4 team members. The 3 and 4 only reply back to you. In addition, as well to you, person number 4 emails person number 5 and thinks they should have the same decision as well. Person number 5 replies to everyone. You gather all the feedback and send a synopsis back out to everyone. You also receive emails from person number 1 and 2 asking why number 5 was included in on the discussion. We reply back to them that, although not ideal, it'll be okay. Person number 5 also forwarded the email to person number 6, who at this time also replied to all, but didn't get the last email. So to include her, you forward her the last email and CC everyone else just to let them know that person number 6 was in on the discussion too. You now email everyone with their final decision and want their buy-in. Person number 6 asks for one small change. You agree, make the change, and email everyone again for an agreement. Everyone emails you that they agree. By the end of this madness, 61 emails have been sent to make one decision. That certainly is not collaboration at the time. How can we avoid this in the future? Instead of sending an email, you ask your question in a collaborative environment. Everyone responds and reads each other's response and suggests that person number 5 would be invited, which you do. They too read the thread, add their 2 bits, and everyone is on the same page. You make the final decision. Person number 6 adds a change. buy, everyone buys off. Done. Now think about how much time your team saves by using the collaborative space. Multiply that by the number of in-depth email conversations you have in a day, and you can see the savings. Plus, the conversation is in one place. You can easily find it again if you need to do it later. And it saves your team a ton of email frustration, which always makes your team happy. Now raise your hand if you think your team could invest those out doing something more valuable. Exactly. So, what are you going to do about it?
All right, so now we can see why use a collaboration tool from that. And we're going to throw another pull up here as well. That's one really good example of why to use a collaboration tool within a single system for your company. Obviously, email chains, like he said, email trees can get very big, very fast, and take a lot of time. A collaboration tool like Chatter really consolidates decision making like that. It's also really great for other things, reducing email traffic in general, improving your internal communications, improving file sharing. Chatter does have a file sharing system to make it easier to share files within your system. And connect with colleagues was also a possible answer to that poll. So let's talk about Chatter features a little bit, and then we're going to jump in and show you the system a little bit and kind of show you some of the features of Chatter within Salesforce. Like I had mentioned, you can follow people or records. You can collaborate on specific records. You can also create groups. There's a public group, which is an open group. Anybody can join it. There's a closed group, which means you have to ask to join, and then the group manager will approve you and add you, and then you're part of it. But it's visible to anybody, so anybody can ask to join it. And then there's private groups, which is you can't find this group just by browsing the groups. You have to be added to the group by the group manager. Nobody else can see it. And groups can be great for different things, lots of different things. If you've got a special project in your company that involves a few people from different departments, you can create a group, put those people in that group, and then they've got a single place to communicate and talk about that project just amongst themselves, and it doesn't annoy or bug anybody else, and confidential information will stay within that group. Nobody else will be able to see it unless they're part of it. So that's another good example of how to use Chatter and how to engage it in your system. There's also great things to use groups for. A lot of companies like to use create a public group that's basically for everybody. There's something kind of like, you could call it something like Wandering Minds, where you can just kind of post fun questions or fun little pictures, just to kind of break up the monotony of the day and have a little bit of fun at work. As well as a group for giving praise and posting good things that have happened. If you've got a really big deal that happened, you can post snapshots from reports and dashboards right to your Chatter feed and share that with anybody that you'd like. Files is also a great feature of Chatter. There is a notes and attachments section on most any record in Salesforce, but within Chatter there's a files section. The thing that makes this, and I'll show you this in just a minute, the thing that makes Chatter files so much more powerful than notes and attachments is a versioning option. If you've got a document that tends to change periodically, and you've got it in notes and attachments, you have to delete the old document, upload a new one, and keep doing that every time it changes. With Chatter files, all you do is upload a new version, it updates, and anybody looking at it always gets the most up-to-date version. So it manages all of that for you just simply by uploading a new file. So these are just a high level of some of the features of Chatter. Having used it in multiple companies myself, it's a wonderful tool, and when it's engaged, it really does help. So let's jump into the system and take a look at Chatter itself a little bit and see what we can do with it. So here we are into the Universal Boxes organization, and you'll see I'm on the home page, and you'll see right here there's this feed section. This is Chatter right here. This is just a general Chatter feed right here. It's not specific to any record, to any person. It's just my personal Chatter feed, and this is where I will see anything that I have access to. will be right here. You'll also see this recommendations piece on the side. If there's records that I might have interest in, if there's new people that I'm not following or anything that way, it'll show up here as possible recommendations for me to follow. Plus, the Salesforce One app is a wonderful tool. It's available for Android and iOS devices from the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. It's great to have on your phone. It has chatter. It also has access to pretty much anything else in the system that you have on your mobile device, phone or tablet. And then if you're on the road, you can still communicate and collaborate with people in the office or other people on the road. You can also ask questions to get answers back quickly that way. So say you're at a trade show and somebody asks you a question and you're not sure of the answer, you can quickly pull up your phone, post a question to chatter, somebody responds to you while you're talking, and then you've got an answer within just a few minutes. You'll see there's this hide and feed option here. You can show and hide the feed just like this on pretty much any record. You'll see you've got options here, post, and you can use @ and then somebody's name. For instance, I can mention our other iDaily user here, or I could mention anybody else in the system just by hitting @mention. I don't have a group set up right now, but you can also do this to mention groups in a chatter post. So you could simply say, send a message to my IT manager. And send that off. And now Jean's going to get a notice. It's going to show up in her chatter feed. And she'll get back to me. She can simply go to comment right here and post a comment and say a time that she might be able to meet with me, or just come by and take a look and answer my question. Here's files that you can post from Salesforce or upload from your computer. So we're just going to go grab a document here. I'm going to share this presentation with the company. And we'll share that. And so now that's out there. And it'll take just a minute, depending on the size of your document. It might take a minute to upload it, but it'll go out there. And then it'll be there for anybody to look at, review, whatever they might need to do. If you post a file to a record, it will show up in the notes and attachments section, but it will have more options to it because it's a chatter file. And you'll see here's the file, you can download it, and there's this more action, which means you could follow it. You can upload if you're the owner or have been shared as an owner. You can upload a new version. You can view the file details. And here you'll see there's some different details on it. You'll see what version it is. You can show all versions. You can show a report, add a description, see who's following it, all sorts of information. If you make changes to the document, no problem. Just hit upload new version, choose your file. You can say what changed. Upload that version. Now anybody that goes there is going to be presented with that most recent version first, and there you go. You've got your file. Now another cool thing about chatter files, if it is something like a PDF or a presentation like this, some files the system can actually render, and we'll see in just a second it'll pop up here. And you can actually view it right here from Chatter. You don't have to download it. So this can also be great for salespeople on the road. All they have to do is pull up the system, pull up the file, and they can share a presentation, they can share brochures, they can share documents right on their screen without downloading the file to their computer, or they can even pull it up on a mobile device and do the same thing and just share that information straight off the Salesforce system. So that can also be another powerful point of Chatter files to use. So take just a second while we're going to process here, and then we'll be able to see this. If you want to share the file with somebody else and allow somebody else to make changes to your file, no problem. Just go under File Sharing Settings, share with people or a group or via a link. Go to Share Settings, and you'll see here any user in the company can view it. I can go share with, I'm going to share with people. I'm going to share this with the IT manager as a collaborator. Being a collaborator means that you will be able to upload new versions of this file and share it with other people. Being a viewer means they'll only be able to view it. As we can see right now, everybody has access to view it, so we don't have to worry about that in this case. You can prevent others from sharing and unsharing by marking this. So now Jean will be able to upload new versions, but she can't share it with other people herself. Okay, and here we see that it's rendered. So now you'll see you can flip through the presentation just like this. It's kind of small though. So there's this option here where you can make it full screen. Right out of Salesforce, right here, here's your presentation full screen. So now you can go through and you can give the presentation right off your computer, right off your mobile device, whatever you want to use. So there's some fun features about Chatter for you there. Skip through some of these things real quick. Okay. So here's the recommendations I mentioned on the side here. Those will come up as you go, as well as trending topics. Topics can be added when you do a post by doing hashtag, and you can add a topic. And now we've got a training topic. And so now anybody can do a search on that topic, and they'll be able to see. I did that in the wrong place, I apologize. Right here, search feeds, and there it is. So you can search on those hashtags using the global search. And then you can add it to the favorites and say, I like this search, I want to follow that. And now you've got it there. So see on the side here, you've got different options for Chatter. I'm on the Chatter tab now, which will be just a main place to see my feed. It's also a place to see different options of Chatter that defaults to what I follow. You can see things specifically that you're mentioned in, anything that you have bookmarked. So if I want to follow this, I can bookmark it, and then it will show up in my bookmark section. If I've muted any conversations, they'll be here, or I can see everything that's public to the company. Now, there are viewing restrictions with Chatter a little bit. If you cannot see the record, you cannot see the Chatter feed for it. So that also helps to kind of control it. If you're putting stuff into a Chatter feed for an opportunity and you have a private sharing model, only the sales reps and sales managers that have access to that opportunity will be able to see that Chatter feed and what's going on with it. Here you'll be able to see all the people in the company, so you'll see them all here. You can follow anybody that you would like just by marking it here. And now I'm following those people. Anything they post, I'm going to get notified about. I can also see anything that's been recently viewed, and groups. So this is a default group of all ATA, which is basically the whole company that is added in here by the system. And that's just a general group. Now, if you want to create a group, no problem. Let's just create a group here. And we're going to create a sales group. This will be a place for the sales team. Fix my spelling just a little bit there. Okay. There's archiving options. If nobody posts for 90 days, I might archive or don't archive the group, whichever you'd like to do. And then here's your group access, public access. Anyone can see updates and join the group. Private, only members can see the updates. Membership requires approval. You can see the group, but you have to request to be a part of the group. So since this is a sales group, I'm going to make it private so that we only have the salespeople invited to it. You can allow customers. There are within the system, I'll show you in just a minute, there are a bunch of free Chatter licenses where you can invite people from outside the Salesforce organization in. What this means is that you can put your whole company into Chatter, whether they have a Salesforce license or not. So if your engineering department does not have Salesforce licenses, you can give them a Chatter license and they can still collaborate and communicate with the rest of the company within one system. You can also do that with customers. There's Chatter external licenses. So you can hand that out to some key partners. And now you've got key partners that are able to collaborate on deals in specific groups or however you'd like them to. And you can control what they can see and can't see and things that way as well. But that's what this is that's what this allow customers is about, is allowing you to add other Chatter licenses to your group. So you see broadcast only is another option here. Only group owners and managers can create posts. Group members can comment on posts. This means that just a general member of the group and customers can only see and comment on posts. They cannot create any new posts. So that can be kind of a restrictive thing if you need to go to that level. So we're going to go ahead and save this. Say OK to this. Now we've got this new group. You can upload a picture for the group here. You can give group settings, add information and a description, and you've got your group here to post. We've got a trade show coming up. We're going to see who wants to attend. Instead of sending an email out to the sales team, I'm just going to post it right here to the group. I'm going to share it. And, oh, you know, I don't have anybody in my group yet. So I'm going to go to add members. I'm going to say, okay, I've got my sales reps here. So I'm going to add my sales team. I'm just going to go through my list of users here and add all of my sales team to this group. Here we go. Now when they log in, they will be able to see this Chatter post and see what's going on. Another option you might see is thanks here. These badges are nice little things. There's a number of them in the system, and you can create your own badges as well. These are just great ways to show appreciation to somebody. So you can say, I'm going to send a badge out to Gene Davis. Say, and we're going to post that there and say, hey, thanks, Gene. Appreciate it. So that can be a great thing, just kind of give thanks, and there's a number of badges in the system. Let's take a look at that real quick. So pop over here, see all tabs, and you'll see badges here. I'm going to hit go to all badges. Here's all the badges that come with the system. As I said, you can upload your own badges. You can get your own images, add new badges, and then people can hand those out. You see there's a lot of them there. You can do a lot of fun things with badges. All right, so now we've got a group in there. We've talked about files and topics a little bit, so we've got then some things moving with Chatter. Now, one thing that Chatter does is it does send out email alerts on different things. And say we want to control those a little bit. So let's go take a look here. We're going to go up to our names and go to My Settings. And we're going to go to Chatter, and we're going to look at email notifications. So you see, you can turn it off completely, and these are user specific. Each user will need to make these changes for how they want to use the system. It can be turned off completely. I would not recommend that. There are times where you may want the email notification just to get that extra push to make sure that sometimes I see those types of things happening. I don't care if people follow me, so I'm not going to get emails on those. Post to my profile, yes, because there's someone wants to talk to me in that case. So I want an email alert for that just in case to make sure I see those. Share a post I made I may not care about. So you can see you can go through and pick each of these items. Which items do you want to see? What do I not want to see in my email? And then there are personal digest emails, daily, weekly, or never. So do I want an email daily, which basically is going to send me an email and list out new posts that happened that day or that week, or you know what, I don't care about a digest email, so don't send me that. Same thing with groups. Do I want group digest? Maybe I do, just weekly though. And then you can see, you can specify that for which group. Maybe for the all ATA, a weekly is good, but for my sales group, I want an email for every post that goes in there. I want to track everything that's happening there. I want to know what's going on within my sales group. So I'm going to say email on each post for that. And then save your settings. So now you've got your email notification set up the way you want. There's another option here under Chatter for my feeds. Automatically follow records that I create. So this will mark you as a follower for every record that you create. Anything that gets posted to a Chatter feed of a record you created, you will get notified of those changes. So now this is all really great, but how do you use it? Say I've got a personal message that I need to talk to somebody about, and I don't want it anywhere public. I just want to send a message specifically to that person. Do I need to go back to my email? No. There is a messages option within Chatter here. This is called a private message. So what I can do here is now I can come here, and I can say a new message. I'm going to send this to my other admin. I'm going to say, it's not something that anybody else needs to know about. It's just for that person. So I'm just going to send a private message and say, hey, we need to talk about this, and send that. And now they're the only ones that are going to see that. You'll get a little notice right here next to messages if a new message comes in that will tell you, hey, you've got new messages. As well as you'll get an email on those to be able to see those in your email that those came in. Let's go take a look at a record and see how this looks on a record. We're going to create us a new account. Got a technology company here. Now here's our record and here's our Chatter feed. So you'll see we've got different options here where you can do a post, file, link. There's more where you can do a link or a poll, which can be a lot of fun too to ask questions. Similar to the poll you see us using here on the webinar. You can ask polls within Chatter and gather information about different things that way. So here, now I can mention, and I want to mention my sales group. And I'm not sure why it's not pulling up the sales group. I should pull up the sales group for you to be able to do a mention of. And now by posting this, it's going to post it to everyone in the sales group as well as specifically Gene. And so now this is on this particular record. So this will only show up for people that have access to this record and nobody else. Another great option of Chatter, and I may not have this totally set up to work right now, is with dashboards. And I apologize, I don't have this to show, but you can enable in your profiles an option. Let's see if we can set this up real quick and we'll show you some Chatter feed. Let's go to our profiles. I like to get to my profiles through my users to make sure I'm editing the right profile. Go to edit here. Do a quick find on dashboard. and I'll have to find it. There is an option you can turn on that will let you share dashboard components to a chatter feed. It can be really nice to do as well. So there's a lot of information about Chatter. It's an awesome system. It's great to use. I highly recommend it. We're going to jump back over here. Now let's talk a little bit about some best practices real quick of Chatter. Some best practices that you'll want to follow, because this will really help make your adoption and your use of Chatter go a lot better. Have users set up their email preferences. It is user specific, and you don't want people to get annoyed and spammed by Chatter because they have all of their email notifications turned on. So go through and show people the settings and let people set them up for themselves. Some people will want more email notifications than others, and that's okay. Let them get what they want. It'll help drive adoption and let them use the system. Use Chatter files instead of attachments, like I mentioned. The versioning option there and allowing to share and help collaborate on documents through that is a very powerful tool. Use Chatter instead of email for any communications with users who have Chatter access. As you can see with the little video that we showed, email communications are nice, but they can quickly get out of hand if you start getting multiple people into a conversation and trying to track a conversation and see who posted on what. If at all possible, keep your communications and your collaboration within Chatter whenever you can. Understand your visibility of Chatter. There are situations that you'll run into where you may want somebody to see something in Chatter, but maybe they don't have access to that particular record, so they won't be able to see the Chatter post. Be aware of that and understand your visibility and how it works and what you can do to open up records through sharing rules or through posting your Chatter items in other places. If you have access to developers can do some fun stuff with moving Chatter posts so that they can be visible as needed as well. If you're working with a community, that can turn into a really big issue. You'll want to pay attention to that. And Chatter recommendations. Watch those recommendations on the side. They are very strong and very powerful to use to help find things that you need. The system will recommend things to you all the time, so keep track of that because you'll see things pop up on that. Hey, I do want to follow that. And that would be a great thing for you. All right, any questions that we have for today? So we've got a question coming in about the Chatter free licenses, how to set those up and how those work, a little bit more information on that. That's a great question. Let's go take a look real quick here. We're going to pop back into our setup. And I'm going to go under the company information here, and we're going to look at the licenses down here. So you'll see there are Chatter free licenses. There are actually 5,000 Chatter free licenses for your organization. So you see that's very strong to be able to add people to your Chatter free licenses. Now remember, Chatter free licenses do not have access to any records in the system. They only have access to the main Chatter feeds and groups, but that can still be very powerful for you. If you've got a support team member that needs help on a case, they can simply pop to their main Chatter feed and just throw out a question, or maybe there's an engineering group that you've got set up for your engineers. They can pop into that group and ask the engineers questions to get help on their cases. It's still a very powerful tool. There's 500 Chatter external licenses, kind of similar to the free licenses. Again, they don't have access to your records, but same type of thing. Build groups and then use the groups to collaborate with those people. Setting that up is very simple. You'll just go under your users, add a new user. We're going to add Jane Doe. And we're going to set the user license to Chatter free. And you'll see there's a Chatter free and a Chatter moderator user license here. The Chatter moderator user is somebody who is a Chatter free user who has access to basically be a group monitor. They can edit posts, they can delete posts, they can add or delete other moderators to the system. Just to help give so that you don't have just your system admin watching posts. This is great if you've got Chatter free licenses going public. then you've got a moderator that you trust and messaging going on so that you don't get somebody posting things that you don't want shared with them. We're going to let Jane be a chatter moderator in this case. Mark is active. We'll go through and make sure all of our information is set up and generate the password and send it out. And we're done. Jane now has an email. She can go log in, get into Chatter, and start using the Chatter free system. All right, that's all we have for today. Thank you very much for joining us and watching. Join us, as we mentioned, join us week to week. Next week, we are going to be talking about building objects in field, standard and custom. We're going to start building out our system a little bit more, making sure that our accounts, our contacts, our opportunities, our leads are all set up how they need to be to run for universal boxes, as well as 1 or 2 custom objects and how to work those and build those into the system. So we hope to see you next week. Thank you again for joining us. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone.